Good morning, dear children. Today we begin with the last technique given by F.W. Taylor, and that is differential piece wage system. Differential piece wage system simply means differences in the wage system, different wages given to different individuals. So this principle, since it differentiates between different individuals and pays different wages, hence this principle is also said to violate the principle of equity given by Henry Fayol. This is a 1-mark question. This has been a 1-mark question, so you may note it down. Which principle violates the principle of equity, or which technique violates the principle of equity? It is differential piece wage system. So differential piece wage system, yes, it becomes a strong motivator for workers. Why? Because it pays more wages to efficient workers and less wages to inefficient workers. And through this technique, we can also differentiate between the efficient and the inefficient workers in an organization. So children, the scientific technique of differential piece wage system emphasizes on paying different rate of wages for efficient and inefficient employees. So this technique basically insists on paying different rate of wage, then extra wages which are paid to efficient employees motivates them to remain efficient. But extra wages paid to efficient employees will also motivate inefficient employees to come in the category of efficient employees. When payment is given according to the number of units produced, automatically the production will be maximized. So basically here we have the benefit of this technique. Rather, this technique would not only pay more to efficient, but when the efficient ones receive more payment, this motivates the inefficient ones also to work according to the targets set by the organization and increase the productivity by producing more and more. Now children, I just have an example over here. To conduct or to adopt the differential piece wage system, Taylor suggested that the company must fix a standard rate of wage for workers producing standard output on their target. For example, I have an example over here. The first example, which says the standard unit set by the organization, say, is 10 units per day, and the standard rate is 50 rupees per unit. So an employee who's producing 10 units per day should be paid according to rupees 50, and he receives 500. But now an employee who produces more than 10 units per day, for example 12 units per day, so this employee who's producing more than the standard target of 10 units should be paid more also. So hence his standard rate will be increased from rupees 50 to rupees 60 per unit. Hence, instead of receiving rupees 500, now he receives rupees 720. So this extra wage payment, now he's receiving 720. Earlier he was receiving 500. So this extra wage payment will help this employee to remain efficient. But now an employee who does not even produces 10 units, produces less than the standard target set by the organization, say it's 10 units per day. So his standard payment should also be decreased from 50 rupees to 40 rupees. So now he'll receive 320. So this is how differential piece wage system can differentiate between the efficient and non-efficient workers. Moreover, the extra wage payment given to the efficient workers will motivate the non-efficient workers to work more, hence produce more and earn more. Whereas the efficient ones who were already efficient will remain efficient. So this is how the scientific technique of differential piece wage system can be adopted by the organizations. So children, here we end with all the techniques, principles and studies given by Henry Fayol and F.W. Taylor. The last topic of the chapter that we need to begin is the difference between the principles given by Henry Fayol and F.W. Taylor. So children, here you can see I just have few major differences between Taylor and Fayol on just 4 bases. The first one says concern. So as we've already discussed, that Taylor's, F.W. Taylor's emphasis has always been towards increasing workers' efficiency. So the concern for Taylor's principle has always been the workers, whereas Fayol's concern is always increasing the efficiency of management. So management's efficiency is the concern of Fayol, workers' efficiency is the concern of Taylor. Contribution. So we know that Taylor has given us scientific principles and scientific techniques of management, whereas Fayol gave us some general principles of management. Taylor's principles are applicable for shop floor level. Shop floor was already clear to you. The word shop floor was already clear. Although I'll repeat it again, shop floor refers to any place where manufacturing takes place, where the actual workers have hand-on machinery. So basically industries, machineries where production activity takes place will be termed as shop floor level. So Taylor's principles and techniques are applicable for shop floor level, whereas Fayol's principles are administrative principles. They're wherever the administration works takes place. And the last is unity of command. So children, we very well know that unity of command was very strictly followed by Henry Fayol, where he says that one boss should be over one subordinate. In other words, one subordinate should receive orders from one boss only, whereas unity of command was not at all followed under F.W. Taylor's principles, because functional foremanship, according to functional foremanship, there were 8 employees, there were 8 superiors who were ordering, giving instructions, to the workers. Hence, functional foremanship contradicts the principle of unity of command. So we just have some few major differences between Taylor and Fayol, and with this we end with our second chapter. Thank you.